Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, this is Vanity. Ezel back at another Card Fight Vanguard Ezel on the Vanity weekly video. So if you can enjoy, don't like, comment, subscribe, and don't Patreon. We'll start, shall we? So today we have some interesting reveals. We have the final new ride line for Cray Cross Epic, and now we have MLB ride line, which I have not seen either because once more I'm recording this a day early. So I'm going to get this started, and then we'll get my genuine reactions early in the morning where I'm the most quietest. So first up we have Rhei Dragon, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base, active rearguard circle once per turn, soul blast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, discard it, and if you have a set order in your order zone, it gets +5. Okay, so a lot to unpack with that. First off, a lot of these decks for orders have soul and don't. Like Orphiz, it's definitely the one where it's kind of 50-50 with Brantgate. Seraph Snow always has soul, or at least from how I play Seraph Snow, it always has soul. And Gravidia, except for grade 2 turn, you will always have soul, which is a nice little benefit. And then who knows what the new Brantgate ride line is going to do. I really hope they don't use set order just because, like, we have enough set order users. We don't need another, like, constant set theme for all of them. Because, like, Dragon Empire, Stoicheia, and, Keter Sentry, they all have like different themes to them with their different abilities, but like Brantgate and Dark States, they have one theme between their own nations, and then they all just kind of stick with it. So it's kind of boring. So I really hope the next ride line doesn't have set orders in it. And yet, as I say this, it's probably going to have a set order, but I really hope that they don't. So this thing's pretty good. I probably wouldn't run in any of the decks because all of them have name restrictive cards. So no for me, but you can run at 3. Then we have Caretaker Monster Schedule, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto was placed on rearguard circle, choose up to 1 non-trigger unit from your drop zone, put on bottom of your deck if you put a grade 3 or greater, soul blast 3, draw a card. So really nice that he can work with the grade 4s. I question why he has a Scythe. Is this implying that we're getting a grade 4 Orphist? Maybe not, maybe I'm just reading into that, but I just question why he has a Scythe. And you net a draw for a soul blast of 3. To be fair with you, this isn't worth it. Like, I don't think Seraph needs this at all. Personally, I don't think Gravidia needs this either, because by the time that this would be useful, you probably already won or you already lost. And as for Orphiz, there's no reason to run this in Orphiz because you're having less and less soul. So, like, I don't know, 2 of maybe if you choose to run it, but I'm not going to run it. Then we have some cards from, not Shaman King, the Ragnarok cards. Talking with his brother Liu Bei, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, act rearguard circle once per turn. Kind of boss 1, choose a siding with the strongest Guan Yu or excited spectator Zhongfei from your drop zone, call it to rearguard circle, and if it was on, if the unit on your vanguard circle is equipped with something, choose 2 of these to get a +5 for the turn. It's really nice skill. He can work with an act, he can call 2 units from drop, or sorry, 1 unit from drop and give 2 units +5. My only thing with this is just a personal factor. I know Liu Bei not from history, but I know it from like different genres of video games that I like. One of them being in Zoom 11, the same with Zhongfei and Guan Yu, and other games such as LBX, which has Guan Yu in it, if I remember correctly. I don't like these variants of them at all because I don't know, like they just give off such a calm feel, and none of them are remotely calm. Like I remember in Zoom 11, Liu Bei was like a goddamn trickster. Zhongfei is just the funniest man to listen to because he yells every other sentence, and as for Guan Yu, he was just the quiet one that looked like the one that would yell compared to Zhongfei. But it's fine. I don't like how he looks, but it's okay. And the background's so plain, but we'll give him a 2 of or 3 of. Then we have siding with the strongest Guan Yu, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto was placed on rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard China's strongest hero, Liu Bei, in it, and you have a talking with his brother Liu Bei on your rearguard, you may solo charge 1. Okay, it doesn't seem too special, but maybe there are cards of Soul Blast, so I'll give it a benefit of doubt, say 3 of or 2 of. Then we have excited spectator Zhongfei. Yeah, this man is definitely vastly different from what I remember from Zoom 11. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto was put on guard circle. If your Vanguard is China's strongest hero, Liu Bei, Soul Blast 2, look at the top card of your deck and call it to guard circle. So they took Cyrus from the trial deck in Magnolia and then just turned it to a Guardian Circle skill. I don't argue this because this thing is actually good. It's just a question of why this card specifically gets that skill. I don't know. Because there's no reason to, like, why does this call this if you can't even use it on rear is my question, but sure. Giving it a 3 of because it's actually a good card, or like a 4 of, but because all it requires is the grade 3, but I'm still questioning it. Then we have Perforate Burner Dragon, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Beautiful fucking art. If this was a main grade 3 or an order, I would so be satisfied with it. Kind of making it a grade 2 makes me a bit disappointed, but I still like it nonetheless. Autumn was discarded from your hand during your battle phase, put it to soul, choose one of your use, it gets +5k for the turn. Cool, we got Overlord support, gets Overlord soul, gets them power. I think all of us are kind of disappointed though that this is what Overlord gets as support, because just like PBO, Overlord requires the OG and Soul for its full effect to go off, and we all wish, I think, that the double rare would have been something like the main where it can send the card to Soul. Burner. The thing is, we don't need Soul in Overlord. I don't think Soul's ever been a problem. I mean, maybe it has, or at least the way I play Overlord has never had Soul problem. This is good. It is. It's just, like, not what we wanted or needed. Like, that 5k doesn't really do much, because it's what, like a free Nahum that has to be discarded from hand. After that, it's a vanilla on rear. I mean, it has to be during the battle phase. You can't just, like, ride deck discard it, so, you know, it's good. It's 3 of. Like, I do run it at 3 of because it's an amazing card. I'm just saying. Like, I feel like compared to what we wanted and what we needed, this is not what it was not either, but it's still a good card, so 3 or 4 of. Then we have Ignite Blow Dragon, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 5k base, 7k base, continues rear guard or guard circle. If there's a grade 3 card in your soul, it gets plus 2k power and 5k shield. No. Just no. You want to know why? Because that one Stealth Dragon card that says it gets plus 2k base power, there are 4 more cards, I believe, in the opponent's drop zone, and then its shield value can go up to 15k if they have 8 or more cards in the opponent's drop zone, is 10 times better than this. Here's why. Its base power is better, its 2k skill is easier to pull off, because you can probably pull it off on first grade 3 turn, unlike this one, and not to mention that its shield value can be greater. I don't know why they bothered printing this card. It looks cool, but they wasted its art on this skill. I don't know why. I mean, I'm pretty sure Fuchi was like a double rare, so if this is easier to get, then so be it. But like, outside of pricing, I feel like Fuchi is just the objectively better version of this. I don't understand why they made this outside of like making a good card easier to get, even though this itself in comparison is not that good. 3 of, I guess. Then we have Law of Survival of the Fittest, Horohoro, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, auto rearguard when it attacks a grade 3 rearguard or Vanguard. If your Vanguard is Ren Tao or Chocolove, it gets plus 5k power for the battle. Cool, so 15k Stringer, which is nice, and continues guard circle. This unit gets plus 10k shield during the battle that your Vanguard with Ren Tao or Chocolove in this card name is attacked. So they attack your Vanguard, this boy is a 15k shield. That is amazing. That is just amazing. We have a good card. He's a triple rare. He gets that power. He gets that shield. I love this card. He does it all for free. 4 of in a Chocolove or Ren Tao deck. I don't care. Then we have Winds of Laughter, Saving the World, Chocolove, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Autumn is put on rearguard circle if you have a Vanguard that's grade 3 or higher with Ren Tao or Horohoro. Okay, they say grade 3 or higher, so I'm assuming they're going to give us a grade 4 version of any of them, which I have yet to see, unless I've missed a key detail. But so far we haven't seen any, but I'm assuming we're going to get one based off how that says. Or Horohoro in its card name. You pay the cost of Soul Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If you do, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal to 1 unit card with Ren Tao or Horohoro in its card name, add it to your hand and shuffle the main cards back to your deck. If you did not reveal a card, countercharge 1. So if you fail, you just Soul Blast 1, which is it's okay because it's still giving you the chance of a search. But it's Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 to get a search. And what I love about all these new combo cards is that you can put them all on a deck, and because this is a searcher, you can just get the other parts of the combo. Like you can get your Persona right, you can get the Horohoro, really good triple rare. Like genuinely, I think this is really good, and just because of how good the Horohoro triple rare is and this double rare is, I don't think it's worth running the Ran Tao one. I think you should just run the Ran Tao ride deck and then just put these two, because I think the other one was like questionable in my mind. These two are actually good. This can search to this. This has the best skill out of all of them, and Ren Tao, I'm pretty sure can discard hand. So yeah, this card is good. 4 of 4 of. Then we have some orders for Record of Ragnarok, Soul Bearer Brunhilde, grade 3, normal order, humanity. If you have Vanguard of Brunhilde in its card name, play it by counterblasting 1. Search your deck for 1 humanity unit, call to rearguard itself for your deck. So let me get this straight. If you make your entire deck humanity units, counterblast 1 and literally call anything from your deck. Because it just says unit. It doesn't say trigger or normal. So quite literally, for the rest of the existence, Bushy has to be really careful of what humanity card skills they give, because we just got a free call as long as the Vanguard's a Brunhilde. Granted, it's a grade 3 order, so you can't just like cheap it out by not running the grade 3 Brunhilde, because this was a grade 2 order. Then you could just run the grade 2 of the ride line and then just use a different grade 3. So no, it's not completely broken, but yeah, we're gonna have to be really careful of what skills are printed here, because depending on what's printed or not, this could actually be amazingly good and doesn't deserve to be what it is. And it belongs in a trial deck, so that's great. So 3 of, or 2 of in a Brunhilde deck. Then we have Soul Bearer Göll. I know how to pronounce that too, is the thing. I actually know how to pronounce this because my friend used to say this to me all the time when we would fuck around in different languages. I know how to say that, but I don't remember how to say it. So for now, I'm going to call Göll. Grade 1 normal order. Reveal the top card of your deck. If the card is an equal or lower grade than your Vanguard, call it to rearguard circle. And if it is not, put it to bottom of the deck and choose and reveal plus 5 for the turn. Okay, really nice. It could either get you an extra call during your grade 1 or grade 2 turn for a nice early rush. If you're on grade 3, then obviously that's a guaranteed call. But, grade 1 or grade 2, it could possibly lead into an early rush. And if you don't get something, at least make sure your unit's more powerful. So, and there's no cost to it. It's a completely good order, and I love it. Like, I don't like putting orders at 4 unless, like, they're their main staple. Like, for example, something like aim to be the strongest idol in Clarissa. But outside of decks like those, I don't really like to put the order at 4. But this is a deck I would consider putting an order in at 4 just because it's free, it works really well, and it's amazing. So 4 of, or, like, maybe at least a 2 of. Then we have more cards for Shaman King, or Zorazan Reserve. I know how to say that word, but for some reason I can't think of it right now. Revor Ana Kayoyama. Grade 3 turns up Persona right 13k base. I didn't think we were getting a grade 3 for this thing. I honestly thought we were just going to stick with the grade 2s, but apparently we got a grade 3, and we got a nice little sword in the background. Auto Van, when it's placed, choose a card with Anakomoyo from your soul and may call it to rearguard circle. I am pretty sure we got a good ride line Anakomo a few weeks ago, unless I'm crazy and that had a rearguard skill, but you get a new Anakomo to rear, which is nice. And Auto Van, once per turn, at the end of the battle, your Shigami Zenki attacked. Soul Blast 1, choose that Shigami Zenki and Shigami Soki in the same column, exchange their positions, and Shigami Goki get +1 crit for the turn. If I remember the skill correctly, Zenki is the one that gets a crit normally, and Goki's the one that gets power. Which means, before when I thought that you could just boost them, now you can switch them, and the one that doesn't get crit gets crit. I might be wrong, and maybe Goki is the one that gets crit, and then it just has a triple crit on it. But Anakomoe seems just to, like to beat the shit out of your opponent with the 4th attack being an extra critical, and then if I'm right, then the other attack is extra critical. Basically, everyone has a force 2 on them in that column. So, Anakomoe, really cool. I like the skill. I think it's cool. I like the art. It's really subtle. I give it a 4 of. Then we have, or word I can't pronounce again, Reservoir Oni. Grade 3 turns Persona right 13k base. Has 3 skills, weirdly. Auto rear, when it attacks, put a rear guard with Anakomoy and its card name to your soul, and this unit is +10k and a crit. That also reminds me of something. This is the only grade 3 so far I remember seeing from Shaman King that goes on the Vanguard circle that doesn't have Oversoul. I don't know why I felt like that was important to say. I just find it weird. Anyways, this one technically has Oversoul because it does what Oversoul is supposed to do, except it just doesn't have the keyword. So auto rear, when it attacks, put a rear guard with Anakomoy and its card name from in its rear to soul. So the one you call from this, and this unit gets +10k and a crit for the turn. So once more, beat the shit out of your opponent with extra crits. Zenki, I'm pretty sure, gets the extra crit. Goki's going to get an extra crit. Your opponent doesn't have to be at grade 3. This thing swings for extra crit. The only one not swinging for extra crit is your Vanguard. And even then, you're going to PG that because that has probably an extra crit on it from drive checks. So what I'm getting for this, PG everything in one go and then just prepare to guard everything else the following turns because you're dying afterwards. And then auto rear at the end of each player's turn. If you don't have a unit with Anna and his card name, this unit gets retired. Yeah, that makes sense for Goki, Zenki, and this thing, because obviously you want to have a unit in your card name at all times. So that explains why we have a grade 3 now. In Act Drop Zone, bind this card, choose a Shaman normal unit from your drop, return it to your deck and shuffle. Okay, it can add Persona rides, it can add units you want to call back, so I can see it. I give it a 4 of an Anna deck just because it's amazing. Then we have Orgulous Lion, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto, when it's placed on rearguard circle, other than by the effect of an Orgulous Lion. If you Persona Road this turn, counterblast 1, switch after 1 card with the same name as this unit, call to rearguard circle as rest and shuffle your deck. Yeah, if you can't tell, they don't want you spamming the board with this. Granted, I don't see what the problem is because, it gets called as rest. So even if it was called by another copy of itself, it would still come as rest. So only the original one wouldn't be called as rest, which means everyone else is coming as rested. Which basically means unless you got a way to restand all of them, and bashing ain't gonna do it, it's not that good. I feel like they cock-blocked it a bit too much, but it's fine. You're obviously meant to use it with, Theogoria because she can just Persona write a bunch, so obviously this is a guarantee to go off as long as you wrote a grade 3, but, I don't really like it that much. It's really restrictive for what it is, so, if we had a way to change his name on call, then yeah, it would be a different issue, but, it's not, so... If you run it at a 3 of, but otherwise, not really worth it in my opinion. Then we have Wildfire Brave Shooter, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear when the student attacks a grade 3 greater unit. If it's the 4th battle that turn or more, it gets plus 10 for the battle. Okay, so if I remember flag burn numbers correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's possible, but it's just like, once more, for Flagberg to be good, unless you're using that one grade 1, which has been proven to be useful to me, so thank you, even though I called it shit before. We still need both front row units to be restanders for this deck to be consistent. I really wish next set we get a double rare or triple rare that can get power like this unit, but is still a restander so Flagberg can actually be useful. Or a grade 4 that fixes Flagberg. I don't care which of it is, it just has to be one of those two. I don't care which one, I just want one of those two. This is still a good card, but like I said, you gotta have mostly restanders in the front row for Flagberg to be good. That's not my opinion. That is the opinion of everyone else. I do still agree with that opinion, but I can see why you don't. But Bushy, get your shit together. Please give us one of those two options I just named. 3 over 4 of. Then we have Harpooner of Resentment. Just, that's the name. Grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Contains rear guard during your turn. This unit gets plus 5k power for each order in your bind zone. Doesn't specify face down, which means if your opponent manages to bind them face down from your drop zone, this thing can abuse the shit out of it. But Black Magic Turbo that just like binds orders quickly, yeah, this can be good. It's really easy to get power off it. It's not a card for me because I don't like all my orders to stay in bind zone that long, but it's still good. It's definitely not my card, but I think it's a 4 of in like any, or like a 3 over 4 of in any. Did I say Black Magic or Alka Magic? I hope I said Alka Magic. Black Magic is something completely different, but that has nothing to do with Vanguard, but I think this card's good, so 3 of at least. Then we have Rebelling Against the Gods, Brunhilde. This, in my opinion, is one of our best grade 1s we have ever gotten for a ride line, except I question why are we getting it for a crossover and not one of our made ride lines. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's placed on van or rear. Soul Blast 1, look at top 5, search after 1 human or Valkyrie with the Volant ability from on them, add it to hand and shuffle your deck. If you added and it was on rear, discard a card. So if it was on van, you don't discard anything. But my main thing here is this. It activates from van or rear. So, and as you all know, a lot of players, or at least I know some players at the start were begging for it, and I don't know if like they all stopped just caring, but I still care about it very much. Why is the only deck that has alternative ride line options for like the same deck choice or like same deck building? Stoicheia. Like Stoicheia has an actual alternate ride line outside of the grade 1. Why do the crossover decks get alternative ride line cards compared to everyone else? Like, for example, everything that came out of Monster Box was an alternative ride line card, except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. This is a literal alternative ride line card. Like, yeah, okay, yes, it works more with Volan, but my point still stands. Like, why? Why? Or just ride line cards having rear guard abilities that are the same as the Vanguard one. I don't know why this is the only one that I can think of that does it, but it's good 4 of, and best ride line card I've ever seen. Then we have With Their Lord Red Hair. This reminds me of one specific image from Inazuma 11 with a wild horsey getting mowed down by Nobunaga Oda, but I'll talk about that later. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear. At the end of the battle that this unit boosted a grade 3 Vanguard Liu Bei in its card name, that is armed by the way. If you have no face-up card in your damage zone, put the unit to soul, choose all your cards from your hand, minimum of 1, discard them, choose one of your Vanguards, stand it, and lose a drive for the turn. That is the worst ability I have ever seen on a rare. Like, or just a restander. Like, cause... Okay, yeah, Master of the Element required you to do it, but he stood everyone. Like, he stood everyone. Like, if you're doing Master of the Element, it's final turn one way or another, whether it's for you or the opponent. This one just says, you're dying next turn unless that card you drive check is the game changer. Because you're losing your entire hand. He goes to soul, you have to be armed, and he loses a drive. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Volan with Liu Bei is dangerous, yes, but I don't think it's worth dropping your entire hand for. Like, if you're losing, go ahead and do it. If you have 2 hand cards after your drive check, do it, because you're probably dead next turn anyways. But for the love of God, this is like one of the most questionable cards I've ever seen. I will give it a 3 of for the benefit of the doubt, because I know that deck can be powerful with crits, but... No, I'm never going to take that chance with this card if I'm remotely not losing. Loyal Soldier Chen is our next card with a grade 1 of boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto is placed on Rearguard Circle. If you have Vanguard Liu Bei, its card name. This unit gets +2 until end of turn, and if your Vanguard is armed, you countercharge 1. Cool, get you counterblast back, get you +2. Really nice card. I like it more than this thing, and I give it a 4 of almost immediately. Then we have support for the Guerra, the Knight of Guard Spear Arsen. I question why he's called Arsen when he has a lightning sword, but okay. I mean lightning spear. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, continues from a rearguard circle. All your rearguards with different card names in this unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Cool, they ain't touching Maple, which means you can just keep spamming Maple intercepts. In auto rear, when this unit attacks, if you persona roll this turn, it gets +5 for the turn. I really wish it had a bit more support beyond that. Like, I don't know, maybe get you a soul charge out of it just to, increase your soul from Maple skill, but I still think this is good. Like, I do genuinely think this thing's amazing. That 5k until end of turn, that works for like the lighter version of the gray. I wish we got a dark card too just to support the dark one, but either way, I still like Arsen a lot. I think he's good. I wish he did get a soul charge off his skill though, but it's fine the way it is, so I give it a hot 4/3 of in a the gray deck. Then we have Shaman of Military Art Tao Ren. Grade 3 turns persona at 13k base. Continues. This unit can only ride on top of a grade 3 Tao Ren in its card name. So I think that's the common theme with all the evolutions. They're all going to require you to ride on top of them with the specific grade 3. Auto is placed on Vanguard Circle. Subtract 1 grade 3 or greater card with Tao Ren in its card name. Reveal it, put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So literally just get a persona ride. Cool. In Oversoul, active Vanguard Circle once per turn. Put a rearguard base in its card name to your soul. Choose 3 of your opponent's rearguards, murder them all, and this unit gets +10k power for every 5 cards in your drop zone. Really? No for the opponent's drop zone? Because you just killed 3 of them, but sure. I don't really know I don't remember for sure if the original Tower Rent only killed 1 or 3, but if it didn't kill 3, this is inherently better because it does it without counterblast, literally nukes 3 units, gets +10 for every 5 cards in drop zone, and nets you a free persona ride for the next turn, and you can just keep doing that. So, 4 of literally no reason not to run this out of 4 of, because it can just search itself. The only downside is you can't shove it in the ride deck, but to be fair, when you get a constant free persona ride, yeah, no, it doesn't matter, you can't put it in the ride deck. 4 of. Then we have Amazing Frost. You know what? I don't really like some of the D arts for double rares, but guess what? This one I will give the one I like. I like the ice. It looks so realistic. I like the little ball of darkness here. I like everything about this art. This already is a 4 of, and I haven't even read its skill. Grade 2, intercept 5k, shield 10k base. Auto is placed on rearguard circle, soul blast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, put it to soul. Then if your soul has 8 or more cards with different card names, this unit gets +5. If you have 10 or more different card names, it gets +10 instead of +5. I love this card. Like, my main reason for not running Barney or Banny in my Chaos deck is because, like, counterblasting for a skill is, once more, remember, I was locked out of locked out of Soul Blast for like a year, so I've been forced to use counterblast, so I got really counterblast sensitive. But like, Banny was like one of my worst choices because like it involved you calling from Soul, which wasn't worth it because you can just bounce those units to hand with other abilities. Amazing Frost literally allows you to send a card to soul so you can fix your problem, actually does something with other cards and actually refills you instead of Banny, and not to mention it can get more power. I think this is better than Banny in every single way, and I give this a 4 of or 3 of. I might have to put this at a 3 of because of space, but I want to put it at a 4 of. Then we have Messenger of the God Hermes, this sadistic looking motherfucker. That's blood. That is straight up blood. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's placed on rearguard circle from your hand. If you have a God Vanguard, you may soul charge 1. Okay, free soul charge, that's amazing. And auto rear. When the attack this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, soul blast 1, choose a God card with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your soul, call it to back or rear. Okay, so you can get an extra booster. I forgot. Can one of the gods restand? I'm sorry, is Liu Bei a god? Is that why this does what it does? Is that why? Because you can just use it multiple times? If Liu Bei is a god, then I suddenly take back my statement about this horse, but, 4 of. And if Liu Bei is a god, also 4 of. Then we have Full of Fighting Spirit Shiva. Okay, I have never watched a single episode of JoJo, but I don't know why when I look at this fucker I think of JoJo. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Continue, or at least from what people have described to me what JoJo is, this is what I think of it. Continues rearguard during your turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater God Vanguard, gets +5. Okay, cool. Simple skill. Not too powerful, not too weak. It's good as it is. Balanced. I give it 2 of if you don't have any other options, or 3 of, like, especially because it doesn't cost counterblast. So I think it's good. So 3 of.
And now for our last few cards, the Ava Rideline and MLB, which are pretty exciting. So first up we have the Ava Rideline. One who craves knowledge Ava, grade 0, boost 5k shield, 6k base, auto when it's read upon if you want second draw card. Not too special about it, standard starter, but I think unlike the other Crate Cross Epic Red Lines, these do require you to ride the starter, or the specific name starter, and the reason why is because in afternoon nap, regardless of place, Ava. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto is placed on when it's placed by riding from one who craves knowledge Ava. Search after one research card, reveal it, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. And it has glitter, which seeks the fire regalias. So for the record, one research card is in order. The only research card we have right now is in order. And I hate that so much, because I literally said yesterday when I was recording the first half of this video, is that I didn't want them to have another order-based deck in Brancate, but they unfortunately got one. It's fine though, because you know, it's at least a free order search that it goes to your hand. So I like Ava, she's good. I wish she didn't have an order, especially because she has those little Link Joker doolies in her hair, and literally none of her deck requires Link Joker remotely skills at all, except for one card, so 50-50 on it, but she's still pretty good. Then we have Experiment Successful, grade 2 grade 2 set order. After a set order is played, put it to your order zone. This is a research card, by the way. Auto was put into the order zone, draw a card, choose an opponent's rear, so put a card from your hand, discard it, and then if it's in your order zone, has 3 or more research cards, so the last one, choose an opponent's rear guard and bind it. So guaranteed draw and discard, which is nice. And if you have 3 or more other research cards, or no, just in general, so if you have 3 of these, Soul Blast 1, choose an opponent's rear guard and bind it. Yeah, it's good. It doesn't really have a counterblast cost, which is nice. Saves you counterblast for your other skills. The Soul Blast is kind of 50-50, but we have a lot of Soul Chargers in Brancate, or a good amount, so this might not be a problem. And the fact that you can bind a rear guard is pretty helpful, especially because the Ride Line can get you 2 free orders, which means as long as you have the other 2, you can net the third ability off really easily. So I like this thing a lot. It's obviously a 4 because all of the units require a research card. Then we have Smooth Research Progress, Ava, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Auto is placed on by riding from afternoon nap regardless of place Ava. Search your deck for up to 1 research card, reveal it, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So basically in glitter. And it's basically the same thing as the grade 1, except the grade 1 rides from the grade 0 to get that ability. The grade 2 rides from the grade 1 to get that ability. I like how they say 1 research card though, which means that if they gave us another research order, we don't have to just only restrict it to this one. It allows us to restrict it to any research order. So if they wanted to give us another one, they can, and we can still search it and make this deck more consistent, which is why I like it so much. So, you know, they're future-proof in it, which is nice, and they can just search free orders for no cost. So automatically this thing's good. Unfortunately, just like the grade 1, there's no rearguard skill, so there's no reason to run it outside of the ride deck, but it's still good. And then we have our main grade 3, Fountain of Knowledge Ava. Grade 3, 200% ride, 13k base. Active Vanguard Circle once per turn. Counterblast 1, look at the top cards from your deck equal to the number of research cards in your order zone. So at the very least 2, because you get one from this, you ride this, you get another one, you play this during your turn, and then you ride this, and then you get this one out. Choose up to 1 card from them, add it to hand, and put the rest on the bottom, and this one gets +5 for the turn. So guaranteedly at least look at the top 2, add 1 to hand, the other goes to bottom, and it gets +5 regardless. So that's pretty nice. 18k base, and you get at least a top 2 search, so that's nice. And then Auto Van, when it swings, counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, search your deck or hand for up to 1 Obscudeid unit, call it to rearguard, and if you search your deck, you shuffle it, and it has glitter. Now, Obscudeid is the Crate Cross Epic donation unit that goes for this deck, and I find it very interesting that they can superior call it. Which, yeah, some of them can, like Tamayura can, but the weird thing is she can call from deck. So she's automatically more consistent than the other ones. Or you can call from hand to get multi-attack. And the funny thing is, like, this is the only, and I find this weird, because this is the only card out of all of the cards for Ava and Obscured that can, you know, do something Link Joker based, in that case a bind, even though these literally look like Link Joker cards. Like, look at the ears! Look at it! I don't know why it's like that. I find it weird that they kind of wasted the aesthetic, but I still think it's cool. I like the Red Line. So, you know, this is a good card. Definitely nice little consistency. Get you a free extra call. Or not free, but like get you an extra attack. So I like it, and I give it a 4. And now what their donation card is, it is a Keter Sanctuary, I believe, Brancate card. Grade 3, 200 persona, 13k base, Knight of Blackness, Obscudeid. Auto rear when it attacks. If your order zone has a set order, it gets +5, and if you have 3 or more set orders, it gets +10 instead of +5. So it works really well with Orphis, works really well with Gravidia, works not really well with Prison, but it works really well with this if you're just going to keep spamming these orders because it gets you at least 2 of them. So, free 23k swing, which is nice, and Glitter with Ava, active if your Vanguard has... active when your Vanguard is a Glitter with Ava in its card name. Now, unlike everyone else, it has 2 abilities activating Glitter. The first one is odd and was placed on rearguard by the card abilities. Yeah, and this is why you don't want to call it from hand, you just want to call it by this. Yeah, I mean, granted, you can still call it from hand, but you want to wait and not do it during the main phase. 1, for multi-attack reasons, but 2, just so you can get its effect off. If your order zone has 3 or more research cards in it, this unit gets a crit. Cool, so he'll be swinging for a 23 double crit while your opponent's at grade 2. That's nice. And continues rearguard to guard circle. This unit can intercept and gets +10k shield. So he's not only defensive, but he is dangerous on rear for the turn that he's placed. I like this card. I think he's really cool. He has no cost to him whatsoever. His only downside is that he requires 3 or more orders for his full effect to go off. And you can't just have a different effect for 2 or more orders. But Obscureid is amazing. One of the best Crate Cross Epic Dual Nation cards I've seen so far. I think out of all of them, I think he's my personal favorite. Hot 4 of. He's amazing. He gets you a free call. Even in non-Ava decks, you still run him for that 10k swing. That 10k swing is still pretty good. So, 4 of. And then we have Wingal Brave as our MLB ride line. Yay! I think my friend's really happy to see Wingal Brave as the starter because for the love of God, he hated Wingal Brave V. Grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 6k base, auto was rolled upon if you want second draw card. I feel like they wasted that such primo art because normally, in my opinion, the starter quality is not of this quality. That sword looks beautiful, the dog looks beautiful, the background looks beautiful. They wasted him being a starter, that's all I'm gonna say, because that art's beautiful. Then we have our grade 1, Little Sage Marron. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto was rolled upon by a grade 2 with Blaster in its card name. Look at top 7, choose up to 1 grade 2 card with Blaster in its card name. Reveal it, put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, choose a Wingal Brave from your soul. You may call it to rearguard circle, and continues rearguard during your turn. If you have 3 more units, it gets +2. Cool, so if you're playing any Key to Sanctuary deck that isn't PBO, it's a 10k booster at all times, which is really nice. And I like how they established that you can run, obviously because it's MLB, you want to run Blaster Dark in the deck, so you can alternate between either running Blaster Blade or Blaster Dark as your grade 2 of the ride line, and because it still has Blaster in its card name, you can still use Marron's ability to get a free top 7 search. Downside is it doesn't search for MLB, but it does search for any grade 2 Blaster, which is amazing. And not to mention that if you don't get a search out of it, you are getting a Wingal Brave to back row, which can be helpful for Blaster Dark if you are relying on just not searching for anything. Say, for example, your opening hand, you already got a Blaster Blade, and you had Blaster Dark in your ride line, well, you can just use Wingal Brave as that sack fodder for Blaster Dark. So, all-around Marron is amazing. He has perfect setup if you ride Blaster Blade. He has perfect setup if you ride Blaster Dark. They honestly made him the best grade 1 for a ride line, in my opinion. He has an actively good skill that can be used in any of the decks outside of one of them for Key to Sanctuary. He has an amazing skill that can either get you a call for Blaster Dark or just a free search in general. He's an amazing grade 1, and I want to hear nothing about it. Maybe not a main deck card. I would say at least 2 in the main deck because he's amazing outside of ride deck and amazing ride deck card. I would say, when I first read this, I thought you would just want to use Blaster Javelin if you're going to have Blaster Dark, because Twin Drive I think is better than 1 draw from Blaster Blade. But yeah, no, Marron's better. And then we have Majesty Lord Blaster, our second to last card. And the card I think a lot of people are dreading, because in my opinion, Majesty Lord Blaster was definitely an amazing grade 3 in V, but based off how D is going with their evolutions, we didn't want MLB to be too broken, but I think they found the middle ground for MLB. Grade 3 200 persona, 13k base, continues Vanguard. If your soul has Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in it, it gets +2k and 1 critical during both players' turns, so double crit 15k. Not too bad. I think the main problem with MLB before is that the 18k base made it so that all 10k drops were 5k drops. And while yes, that is still the case, it doesn't hit it too high in power where some attacks just don't flat out hit. Now most attacks will just still hit. So, they didn't break it too much. And then Auto Van, when it attacks a Vanguard, perform all the following. You can choose to perform only one if you can. Put a Blaster Blade from rear to soul, choose an opponent's rear guard, kill it, and put a Blaster Dart from rear to soul. This unit gets a drive for the turn. So boy goes to triple drive if you send Blaster Dart to soul, and if you have Blaster Blade in it, it gets plus 2k to crit. And if you send Blaster Blade to soul, you get a free kill. Now here's my thing about this unit. It's really nice that they kept those skills because Blaster Dark has been the one focused more on drive checks. So it's nice that Blaster Dark skill goes to drive checks, and Blaster Blade skill, who focuses both on retiring for his skills, gets a free kill. But the thing I like the most about this is this costs no counterblast and no soul blast to use. Which means your deck can be as counterblast heavy and soul blast heavy as you want, because MLB doesn't use any of it, which I think is amazing. Like, they didn't break MLB in my opinion. Like 15k double critical is not that bad. I mean, yes, the electricity helio monster thing was meh, but we have Great Force to balance that out. Triple drive was amazing. Kill an opponent's rear guard for free of any grade and on anywhere on the board is amazing. All around, this boy's amazing. And I think they found the perfect middle ground for it, and I don't think anyone would disagree with me when I say we were all scared of MLB, but I think now that we've seen it, I think he's pretty good. I don't think they made him overpowered. I don't think they made him too weak. 4 of. And then our last card for the day is Bravery to Stand Against, Will to Pierce Through. Grade 3, normal order, play with Counterblast 1 if you have a Vanguard Blaster Lance card name. Search it for 1 unit, grade 2 unit card with Blaster Lance card name, reveal it, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. It's really nice that if you're on MLB, because you guarantee to have one of the grade 2s in your soul, this one will search the other one and add it to your hand, which is really nice. And the best part about this too is both of the orders that require blasters are both interchangeable with each other's decks. Like, you can run this one in PBO. I don't know why though, because you would already have Blaster Dark and Soul, but if you wanted to, you could run it in PBO because PBO has Blaster in its card name. And PBO's order, the one that is like give plus 15 to Van, then kill a rear guard, get another plus 15 if your Vanguard's a blaster, can also be used in this and give MLB some defensive options, which I can definitely see happening because if you use both of its skills, you are essentially losing out on criticals. Now here's the thing. The main thing with MLB is because it doesn't have a cost, you are forced to do the skill as much as possible. I mean, granted, if you have both, you don't have to use both because it does say you can choose to do only one, but you have to do at least one if you can. So that's the downside. If you have a Blaster Dark on board and it's your only unit out of the Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark, you have to do it to get a drive, to my understanding. And the same with Blaster Blade, but I mean, it's still good, because it gives you that defensive option. You can have searching option with this. All around, I think they made this rad line really good, and I like it a lot. I like the return of MLB, and I think they've done a really good job. So I hope you guys enjoy. That's it for this week of reveals. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to Patreon, join Discord, follow Twitch. How do you guys think they handled MLB? I think personally, as obvious by my commentary, they did pretty well. How do you think Eva's done? I think Eva is probably one of my favorites outside of the aesthetic because they wasted the aesthetic on making it look Link Joker based. And next week we're getting Festival Collection cards, so I can't wait to see that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to Patreon, join Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.
Thank you.